we have done a lot of things. The problem is we focus too much on the half-empty glass. Look at what we have done with the American Rescue Act. Joe Biden and the Democrats did that. But we keep talking about that part of the agenda that has not gotten done, rather than to share with the American people all of the great things that we have done.
And Whip Clyburn, I understand that. And yet, inflation is high. Gas prices are high. Food prices are high. People are feeling all of these things. So can the president avoid the here and now frustrations and anger of the American people, despite all the good things that have come out of this administration?
What's up, you guys? It's Steve here, and let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. We're going to be hearing from Jim Clyburn, one of the top Democrats in the House of Representatives, and he's going to be talking about stimulus, Congress, the Biden administration, and elections. This is your breaking news stimulus check update and stimulus package update. Now, you got to let me know your thoughts on this one, because he's going to be saying the main issue that Biden has right now is the glass half full, glass half empty messaging. He's saying we're focusing right now on all the things that Biden hasn't done, but we should be focusing on all the things that he has done, all the good that he has done for the American people with the American Rescue Plan. He says the infrastructure bill, all of that stuff that has already taken place. Well, let me know if you think that's the best strategy coming up for these elections, because I might be wrong. But I think talking about everything that you did yesterday, when you made all these promises yesterday about things that would happen today and they have not happened, is not going to help, especially when today things are pretty bad. We've got 40-year high inflation, record high food and gas prices, and we had promises of fourth federal level stimulus checks of $2,000, child tax credits, all of these provisions that would help out at this time, and none of them have been fulfilled. I'm not sure if bragging about what you did yesterday and not doing anything today is going to convince the American people to vote you to stay in power. Now, I might be wrong. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. Now, in addition to that, this is very interesting. Let me know your thoughts. We're going to hear him say that this record high inflation is just a result of passing stimulus. When you pump money into the economy, that is going to be the reaction that unfolds, which is totally different from what we have been prior hearing from Democrats. They said that it is only causing an insignificant amount of inflation and it's due to everything else going on in the world. But here you're going to hear Jim Clyburn admit and say, now this is just a result of what we did, and you have to accept that. Wow, let me know your thoughts. Now, in addition to that, we're going to be hearing from one of Biden's economic advisors, and he's going to be emphasizing that no, this is actually a result of everything that's going on. It's not just the stimulus. And also, he is going to be emphasizing that they do need to change their messaging. Let me know your thoughts, but we are hearing they are making changes, as if you missed my last video, you might want to check it out. We're hearing that right now, the Biden administration is taking into consideration various bills and proposals for more stimulus checks, gas stimulus checks, due to everything that's going on with record high gas prices. And this is coming right after the UK. They have just passed gas checks. That's right. Now, if you missed that video, check it out right after this one, as I cover all the details of what the UK has done and what we're hearing the US is going to be doing with more checks under consideration right now. But you guys, let's go ahead and dive right in. I'm going to cover this video footage for you so you can hear the latest. But before we do me a quick favor. Before we dive in, take one moment very quickly to smash that like button. Helps me out a ton with the algorithm. Thank you so much. Also, leave your comments. Love to hear your thoughts. Share this out if you think it could help out other people. If this is your first time here and you want to stay up to date, it's totally free. All you got to do is take one brief moment to smash that subscribe button, turn on that notification bell. I'll keep you up to speed on everything going on. Any specific questions for me, shoot them to me in the DM on Instagram at SteveRam3. Consider joining my second channel, Steve Ram Finance. And also keep an eye out for a comprehensive list of all stimulus checks on various levels, states, counties, cities. Don't miss out on any of them, because we're hearing 90% of people that don't know about these checks, they were eligible and they missed out. That is right. I want to make sure that doesn't happen to any of my viewing community, the Steve Ram fam. I'm going to keep you up to date here on the channel with everything that's available to you. But with that being said, you guys, let's go ahead and dive in and take a look at this video footage.
Joining me now, House Majority Whip James Clyburn, Congressman of South Carolina. Whip Clyburn, thank you as always for coming to the Sunday Show.
Well, thank you very much for having me back.
So does the president have a messaging problem, or does he have a leadership problem, do you think?
Well, you know, I've said for a long, long time, it's not our message, but it's more that we have a problem with labeling. We have done a lot of things. The problem is we focus too much on the half-empty glass rather than the half-full glass. I think that we have a legislative process that we do not do enough of bringing people along. Look at what we have done with the American Rescue Act, with the bipartisan infrastructure bill, with the omnibus bill that we have passed, the appropriations bill. And we are still working with the Senate to try to get the rest of his agenda done. But we keep talking about that part of the agenda that has not gotten done, rather than to share with the American people all of the great things that we have done. And then I look around and I see people out in their districts putting up these big overblown checks saying, here's what I have brought. Well, Joe Biden and the Democrats did that. We did it with a minimum. With the bipartisan bill, we got 13 Republican votes in the House, and we got none on the Rescue Act. So this is the kind of thing we have got to get our message right. So I think that we got a good message. We just have a problem with style.
And Whip Clyburn, I understand that. And yet, inflation is high. Gas prices are high. Food prices are high. People are feeling all of these things despite the glass half full that you're talking about. So can the president avoid the here and now frustrations and anger of the American people despite all the good things that have come out of this administration?
No, you can't avoid it. The fact of the matter is, when you start to stimulate the economy, you have to strike a balance. You cannot stimulate the economy without running the risk of inflating things. That's just the way economics work. If we are pumping money into the society so that people can go back to work, people can sustain themselves when they are out of work. We had a great pandemic that sidelined people, closed up restaurants, closed down businesses. So we had to pump money into the economy, and that will always run the risk of inflating things. That's just the way it works. What we have to do is get people to understand that it is important for us to do things for people who have nothing to inflate. And so the people who do have stuff that can be inflated, we have to bring them along and get them to know that all of us are in this together. And so let's look out for each other, and let's try to make this country a more perfect union.
So, Whip Clyburn, I want to come back to, I love the analogy, the glass half full, glass half empty, because there seems to be a bit of a disconnect in the way that Black Americans are viewing things and the overall Americans are viewing things. In the latest Washington Post poll, 60% of Black voters believe that President Biden has kept his campaign promises. But meanwhile, only 40% of Americans overall believe that the president has kept his campaign promises. Why do you think that is?
Well, that's once again because we are not getting enough emphasis on the things that we have accomplished. It just so happens that when you run for president, you lay out a 4-year plan. But people expect, in many instances, for all 4 years to be accomplished in one.
Right.
He's had a year and a half in office. We're trying to get things done in an orderly fashion, trying to do it in such a way that you don't overcharge the economy in such a way that we have runaway inflation. These are the risks that you run. This president knows this risk, but he also knows that he cannot afford to preside over a country where too many people are out of work and evaluated.
Whip Clyburn, one more question, and just give me a yes or no. You are politically brilliant. Can the president turn things around before the midterm elections? Yes or no, where we are right now?
Yes, he can, and he will.
And with that, we'll leave it there. Congressman James Clyburn of the great state of South Carolina. Whip Clyburn, thank you very much, as always, for coming to the Sunday Show.
Thank you very much for having me.
All right, joining me now is senior advisor to President Obama. What a slip. President Biden. Gene Sperling. Gene, thank you very much for coming to the Sunday show. Quite the Freudian slip there. But as an advisor, and
I was an advisor. I was an advisor to President Obama, too, so it's not a slip.
Right.
Proud to work for both men.
Right. And you focus on the economy.
And President Clinton.
Right. And you focus on the economy, if memory serves, for President Obama. So for President Biden, picking up on what Whip Clyburn was just talking about, Democrats are focusing on too much on the glass half empty. Do you think that it's possible for the president and the administration to get its message out about the glass half full part while also acknowledging the pain that's being caused by inflation and rising gas prices?
You know, Jonathan, you absolutely have to recognize both realities. Inflation is clearly global. The recent report by the OECD, which is the 38 major countries, showed the average inflation across those countries is 9.2%. So this is clearly a global phenomenon caused by a unprecedented shutting down and starting up of the economy, an unthinkable war of aggression in Ukraine. And yet, all that said, the fact that it's global is little comfort to an American family going through the grocery line or going up to the gas pump. Many of them have new jobs. Many of them have raises, but they still don't want to give back any of that. But I do think that, yes, we have to understand the fundamental strengths that have come out of the American Rescue Plan. And let's just look at the jobs report that came out Friday. I mean, this should be reassuring for a few reasons. Number one, I think one of the things people have strongly reported and underestimated about the American Rescue Plan is the degree that it has given this recovery resilience. You know, I had a lot of reporters calling me when Omicron hit, when Delta hit, when the Russian invasion happened, and said, is this going to derail the recovery? The fact that you've had a strong American Rescue Plan has led both to historic job creation, the most equitable recovery I've seen. You've seen Black and Hispanic unemployment basically return to pre-crisis levels when it took 6 years after the Great Recession. So you're seeing the strong, equitable growth, but you're also seeing resilience. This economy is powered through. And we also saw what the Washington Post called yesterday the great return to work. Not only has it led to record job creation, but we've seen 4.2 million Americans come back to work. Those 25 to 54 are working at the same percentage that they did before the pandemic, which is a tremendous, really tremendous accomplishment. And just the final thing I'd say is that families are looking, you're right, you know, families, I've been in politics for a long time, and presidential approval is affected by gas prices, whether it's the president's fault or not, and inflation. We understand we understand that. But the fact is that when you look at typical families, their checking accounts are up, they have less household debt service, and I think all of this gives us more confidence that we are well positioned to make this transition to a more stable growth, even with the tough medicine that we know the Federal Reserve is going to have to take.
So there you have it, you guys. And again, let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. Do you think that this is a good strategy, or do you think that maybe they might want to reconsider bragging about yesterday when they've got some work to do today? Let me know your thoughts, you guys. And we're going to be seeing what Congress comes up with. We're hearing checks are on the table under consideration. But with that being said, you guys, thank you so much for joining me. And if you made it this far and you haven't already, don't forget, smash that like button. Helps me out a ton. Leave your comments, share this out. Hit the subscribe button to stay up to date. Totally free. Why not? Come join the Ram fam. Any specific questions, shoot them to me in the DM on Instagram at SteveRam3, and consider joining that second channel, Steve Ram Finance, to learn about growing wealth and personal finance. But with that being said, you guys, thank you so much once again, and I will catch you in the next one. Take care. God bless. This is Steve.